Hello, I'm your host, Natalie Ryan Hebert, founder of the Red Tent program. And in today's episode, I'm joined by Geraldine to discuss her remarkable journey of healing from PMDD. Geraldine shares her transformation from years of emotional turmoil, rage, and limiting beliefs to a life of creativity, self-love, and emotional freedom. Through Rapid Transformational Therapy through the Red Tent program, Geraldine uncovered the root causes of her struggles, reprogrammed her subconscious beliefs, and unlocked a newfound clarity and confidence. Her inspiring story demonstrates the life-changing power of addressing the emotional and psychological roots of PMDD. If you're seeking hope and practical tools to heal from PMDD or to transform your life, this episode offers a roadmap for rediscovery, empowerment, and growth.
So, hi Geraldine, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah, so can you just explain where you were at when you first came across my work and what it was that made you decide it was time to work with me?
Well, it was years of battling PMDD, really, probably since my adolescence. And it was about 10 years ago that I discovered this thing called PMDD, and I spoke to a GP about it. And they kind of said, yeah, that's a thing, and I was like, oh, really? And I really started to look into it then. Mm-hmm. And in Googling and looking online, and I guess it's that Big Brother thing where Facebook sees what you're looking at, and the PMDD Red Tent sort of public page started sort of coming into my feed in Facebook. So I started taking a great interest back then, really, but was using other therapies and looking at lots of different things and trying other things until late last year, I guess, in COVID. I was still following the page and still interested, and some months were better than others and some years were better than others, but there was always a return of the crises. Mm-hmm. So, it was COVID when I think everyone sort of took a chance to regroup a little bit, depending on what their scenario was, and I certainly had time out to deal with lots of different things and changed lots of things in my life, and decided that was the time for me to really take on the therapy that your page was talking about and looked into it further. I guess my symptoms across the years, and let's say 20 plus years, was in that self-care week that we call it now. Yes. I just that miserableness, and there was always a drama. Something would go down, and it was often with other people in my relationships. And as a mother in a home where there's closed doors and there's still stress, that rage, and I would describe it as rage at home or not, was really becoming a problem for me and my family and my little girl. Yeah. And I just, I knew that for a long time. And then when COVID hit, I can't complain about how COVID helped me in that, in stopping and regrouping and changing my work. I was able to sort of do more of what I loved, which was wonderful. And that rage was still there. And I'd almost nearly make it to the end of the month, hold it together, and then there'd be something. Yeah. And I think I remember talking to you about how it's like a big pimple bursting. And then it takes a while for that to heal. You have an interaction that's not nice. And, that can affect a relationship with somebody for a year or two, and, that was so easy to avoid with the right support, I guess. So for me, I was thinking my life is starting to pick up with my passions, and I've still got this rage, and it's not shifting. So, hope that answers the question.
Yeah, so rage, yes, was a big thing for you, and for some it's just this unbearable sadness. For others it's very high anxiety. There's always a combination of some of it. you know, but for you, it was definitely this anger, and you didn't want it to be coming out onto your daughter. Of course, none of us do. So it was wonderful that you said, right, I'm going to own this and do something about it. And I don't know how it's going to work, but okay, surrender, right? So you surrendered and went and you took this leap of faith to do this therapy. And how would you describe what happened for you as you know, we have 2 RTT sessions within the Red Tent program, and the first one is usually the biggest because it sort of clears the biggest thing that's in the way, and then we work with whatever's left next. So how was that described? Because I think for people who haven't done RTT or read about it, they think, what is it? How does it even work? And how can it in one session create such a shift when people are used to going to therapy and talking about things for years and or weeks or months? How would you describe RTT in your experience?
Yeah. Well, it is amazing. I would say that. I was thinking about the words, and it's like, for me, it's been a bit of a phenomena because it has been so amazing. And it was like initially, and I love the way it's about changing your belief systems. As simple as that. And that concept that we're born just right, you know, and then we become programmed for whatever reason and whatever happens. And those embedded beliefs can be changed when you sit back and look at it. And I think through life experience, and maybe it takes people a while to come to that, say, yeah, of course, that belief from way back when isn't true. It shouldn't be impacting me now. So it was like that changing of beliefs, which was so it was so powerful for me, so powerful and so empowering. And it was like, for me initially, it was like a ferry turning. And, you know, it kind of got worse before it got better in the first month or two. But then I felt the change.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I had this right to create my beliefs with a good heart that, you know, for me as a human being with this one shot on earth that we know of at the moment, to change it. I can do that now. I can change it. And it's not my fault that I was programmed in a certain way or whatever happened, but perhaps it is my fault if I keep falling victim. So I can change it. And it was so powerful for me.
And I think it is difficult to just, you can become aware of it consciously, and you can see, you can become aware that this surely isn't right, or this doesn't feel good, and why can't I do better than this? And when you've only got your conscious mind to work with, it's very easy to fall into victimhood because it's so powerful, and it comes from a place that feels bigger than you, which is true. It's your subconscious. I mean, bigger than your conscious willpower. So it's easy to feel like, it's too big. But when you do the subconscious work, you're getting that part of you that's so powerful on your side, you know. So and the things that you're reacting to as an adult are these beliefs that are lodged in there. And because they seem so true to you, you don't even question them because they've proven themselves true. So whatever it is you believe, and the big ones are, I'm not enough. Like a number of times I've written that, and I haven't suggested it to the client. Is it because you feel you're not good enough? I never give anything. It's always, I'm drawing it out. And the words that I hear the most are, and I'll say to them, so I'll say to you in the session, so what does that mean now? So that must mean I'm not good enough. There it is again. At the core of everyone's big issues is this not enoughness. So healing that and recognizing, but I am enough. And just because my mum got angry at me, or my dad was an alcoholic and left when I was 2, or whatever anyone's story happens to be, that's not your story, but whatever. Sorry, I didn't want to start.
No, fine. Whatever. But we're meant to be enough. We were born enough, and it's just, it's such a it sounds like a get out of jail free card, but it's true. You know, it's so true. And when you consciously recognize that and forgive yourself, that's when the reprogramming of that subconscious starts.
Exactly. It's recognizing, I kind of created this program myself when I didn't know any better. It's not to blame yourself. Any 2-year-old would have probably thought the same thing, made the same assumption, come to that interpretation with the 2-year-old brain or the 1-year-old brain, or even the baby in the womb. So we're not always born knowing we're enough most of the time. Some babies in the womb get a feeling of, I'm not wanted. This is a mistake. What am I doing here? They can hear an argument between their parents on the outside of the womb, and it's like, this seems hostile. I think this is a mistake. I've had plenty of people go back to the womb. It's fascinating. So by the time they're born, they're like, oh, why? No one, my mother doesn't want me. So that must mean I'm unworthy, which is a mistake, because it's not about your parents' ability to love you that makes you lovable. And that's the big revelation. Oh, my lovability is non-negotiable. Whether they are able to love me to the way that I deserve to be, that's not my fault, and it has no bearing on whether I'm lovable. And this deep realization in hypnosis sort of changes the whole belief system. And then the self-love is everything that is the support, the safety. You're not looking outside trying to fill a hole anymore. You already know you're enough. So there's no inadequacy that needs topping up from somewhere. There's no shame. That's the other thing. Everyone's got a shell on. Most women with PMDD have this big mask. And when PMDD strikes, the mask thins and they're exposed. And all the wounds and the I'm not enoughness and the, oh God, if anyone sees me, is right on the surface and is easily triggered. And that's what we find. And the anger is often a defense against I'm going to be judged as bad or wrong. It's big stuff, isn't it? So undoing that just changes everything. And
it is that work of doing the RTT and the reprogramming and changing your belief system. And that's how I explain it to people. It's changing a belief system, about yourself. And they get that. People get that when I explain it. They go, I get that. And it's got them thinking too, which I'm pleased about.
Isn't that great? You can have this ripple effect and be the change you wanted to see in the world and be an inspiration to others, and people can see, oh my gosh, you look different. You look so happy. You look so, So since you've, going through it, and there is sometimes a healing crisis, like you mentioned, it got worse before it got better. It's a bit like spring cleaning. Everything gets pulled out and it's like, bloody hell, what a mess. And it's messier before it gets tidier. But then you go, okay, we don't want that. That's old. I'm going to take that to the tip. And you throw everything out and you tidy everything away that's still relevant. And then you look around and go, now this is better. And that's kind of what you end up with in yourself. You're able to check your program and say, what's that doing in there? That's not even true. Delete. And then you program new things in that do serve you now. And that's a much better place to be living your life from, with an operating system in a way that is built to the latest version of you, instead of clunky old code in your system that's made for a 2-year-old who didn't think that she was lovable. Or a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 14-year-old. We pick things up all at different times. But
and it allows an emotional evolution that so many people I'm observing aren't accessing, and it's not just for PMDD, it's certainly for me and red tenters, like, of course, but like the whole concept, it just allows for that growth, that emotional growth that is, just unlocks a door, doesn't it?
Exactly. And, of course, this isn't just for women with PMDD. The difference is women with PMDD kind of get a fast tracking, because you are because you get thrown into that suffering. That truth serum hits you every single month and says, are you ready to deal with it now? What about now? What about now? What about this one? Whereas people, they can keep it kind of simmering under the surface, and it's there and it's affecting their life, but they've got a buffer over it. But they're still not as whole and happy as they could be. Whereas women with women in general too have just the cycle, not just women with PMDD, but women with PMDD. I don't even like saying that phrase. The reason a woman has PMDD is because there is the cycle. There is this big chunk of trauma that's stuck in there, and there's a higher sensitivity, there's a higher empathy, for some reason or another. And those three things combined create the symptoms of PMDD. So I don't even want to say, oh, you've got PMDD. Well, the reason that you have those symptoms is because of those three factors.
Exactly.
So you've got that higher sensitivity. You've also had that trauma that hadn't been dealt with, and you had that cycle taking you on that roller coaster wave every month, putting you in touch with it all the time. But you can't make sense of it consciously. It just feels like you've gone to hell, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's called Hell Week. But understanding, I can see why, having this clarity of what it really is, fast tracks your healing, and you come to a higher level of emotional intelligence because of the pain you've been through. And I said to you probably in the beginning, you will be grateful in the end that you had PMDD. I know you don't believe me now, but I feel that way because it makes me unearth the stuff. It is in the subconscious affecting you, whether you are conscious of it or not. The choices you make, how you show up in relationships, what you're willing to charge for your services, even whether you put yourself out there with your creative gifts. So many areas of life are affected by the not enoughness. So what's happened for you since you've been through the
well, I love that word fast track, because I was doing things and I knew what I wanted to do, but the blocks were there and that conscious torment was there. And I know how to, I've reprogrammed some beliefs, so I know how to beat that now when it pops up. And the self-awareness, I think I talked about that in the group a lot, just mindfulness. I mean, it's such a big word, isn't it, today, but to actually be mindful of yourself and your old patterns and to say that's not real anymore, and I'm bigger than that and I'm better than that, and I don't have to fall victim to that conscious lie, actually. So certainly that. Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent there. What's gotten better? So I was chipping away, but the thing I love to do is sing and play music and write music, and I've always loved doing that, but these blocks. And I've actually, since doing my first RTT, I've written almost 2 albums.
Oh my God. Wow, talk about floodgates.
And that was actually because I was chipping, and then, like you say, the floodgates, and I actually recently formed a band. It's kind of happening around me, and that's the other thing about it. Things are coming to me, and I played a whole 2 sets of original songs at a great local venue, that lots of people love to play at, and it was my debut, and I got paid a very nice price. And my electric guitarist said, no one gets that. No one gets that for a debut of 2 original sets. They don't get a full house and they don't get paid that money. He said, it's either going to get better or, you never forget this. So I guess it's the universe saying, this is what you're meant to be doing. This is the belief system that works for you, and it's feeding back to me. So that's been probably my biggest thing. But lots of other things. Certainly my relationships have improved. Relationships I thought I'd lost have come back to life better than ever. On both sides. And I actually moved house today. I'm sitting, this room's very echoey because it's got nothing in it. And I'm on this sort of road now that's, 6 months ago I could not see where I was headed. I was in a rut going round and round. Life wasn't terrible, but I wasn't progressing for me.
Yeah. So many.
We can go on.
And it will go on. It will be this positive snowball because, look how far in just 6 months what's happened. And just imagine a year from now, if this trajectory continues, which it will because you've shifted your mindset, you're only going to convince yourself of what's possible and what's okay. So if that was possible, then why wouldn't the next thing and more be possible? And it just grows from there. So things that you would have thought, oh, that's not available to me. Well, why isn't it? Who says?
Yeah.
I say.
Yeah.
My opinion's the one.
Exactly.
And then life completely sort of, you set the bar and life delivers to what you set. If you're limiting yourself, that's exactly what you'll get. So that's really good. So wow, that's amazing. So I think a lot of women, this is one thing I want to cover, firstly, women who are in this yucky, their self-esteem, self-worth is generally on the floor. Like the average out of 10 score I get probably for self-esteem, self-worth is about 2 out of 10. Self-loathing is up on like 8 or 9. So, when women have to get to this point of, well, I actually need to invest in my healing. Like this is not a quick fix little pill. There's going to be 8 weeks of work here. What would you say to women who think, oh, I don't know if I can spend that on myself. I could spend it on my dog if it needed an operation, but not me. What advice would you give now you're on the other side and you can see the value of what you have got out of this change within yourself? What would you say?
I would say it's an invaluable investment. I mean, for the amount, it truly is. And you sort of think, oh, initially, but then when you start seeing, I guess, the changes in your life, that cost doesn't even factor. It doesn't even, I don't even think about it. All I think is, I must do my RTT today because I've paid for that and it's really doing me wonders, and you're wanting to make the most of it because it's such a gift. That's how I look at it. I think
there is that element. If I did this for free, I don't think people would show up for themselves.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because you need to get the value out of what you have invested. So every time you play that recording that we make, you've just got more value out of what you've invested.
Every time.
Yeah. So you will draw the value out of me up to what you have invested. I'd be better off tripling the price because by that thing, because you'd probably get even more out of it to try and, but I'm not going to, because I want to make it something that everybody really
that's right. And I remember you said you wanted to write it across the sky, and that's what I think that to myself too now. I think everyone should be doing this. I don't know, this is emotional evolution, and the world seems to be in this, we've got a serious pandemic, but also this pandemic of narcissism. And I used to look around myself and think, why is everybody so mean? The empath and the sensitive in me felt like all these people, and I don't look at it like that anymore. I think, no, people, I can see what's going on, and I think I'm the lucky one. I'm the lucky one who gets to go and reprogram myself because of this knowledge and because of this, the work that I've done, So the cost I don't think about it at all.
No.
I have to say.
No, it's not something, you probably can't even remember what it costs now, whereas you can see the change. You can see the change in yourself and the pricelessness. And even financially, you will find things come to you, like you got paid for that gig. When would that have happened? Probably not.
Exactly.
Because of the way you enter the room, the energy you give off, the confidence, the worthiness that the guy went, I better pay her. It feels wrong not to. Whereas old Geraldine, he would have gone, well, I'll give you a beer in exchange for the gig. You're lucky to play here, right? As a lot of places often do. I'm a singer too. I remember the good old days where original music, you're paying a venue to have you, not the other way around. So that's really amazing. So lots of things do come your way. I've seen amazing things happen in my clients' lives. Businesses started, prices raised, they quit their jobs and doubled their salary and by just going to another job that they never thought they were worthy of. So many amazing things. So yes, you invest, but you always get it back, not just emotionally, but financially as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. So thank you so much for taking the time to share your story. Is there any last closing, I don't know, statement or anything?
Only to say that, life is challenging. It's always going to be challenging. There's always going to be new things to challenge you. But I guess the big thing that has helped me, it's my little catch cry in my head, is I'm not abandoning myself ever.
Yeah.
And that was really big in the group when that came to my attention. It's like, if you abandon yourself, who else? Who have you got? And that was so powerful for me. And that's what I've learned. I can't abandon myself. It's down to me. I create my beliefs, and you can create an amazing life.
Yeah. And on the other side of that, if you stay with yourself, if you never abandon or reject yourself, you have everything. It's not just, it's not who have you got. You've got the most important one there is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's a huge revelation. And it's easy to say this to the conscious mind now and go, yeah, so true. But until you know it all the way down, it's just a really nice Instagram quote, right? But when you do know it all the way down, everything in life just upgrades from that. And you feel with safety in whatever happens, I've got me, and my love's the most important.
If you found this episode helpful, I'd love it if you could take a moment to rate and review the podcast. Your support helps us reach more women who might need this message of hope and healing. And don't forget to share this episode with anyone who could benefit from it, a friend, a sister, or someone in your community. You can follow me on Instagram at Natalie Ryan Hebert and at the Red Tent PMDD. I'd love to hear your thoughts and connect with you there.